Amazing things caught on camera. Number 1. Invasion of crabs. Millions upon millions of red crabs on Australia's Christmas Island are shutting down roads, covering beaches and stopping people in their tracks. But to the locals who live there, coming across a sea of red crabs heading for the coast at the end of November is nothing out of the ordinary. According to the Australian National Parks Department latest surveys, around 45 million red crabs made up of 14 different species live on the tiny island, located roughly 500 miles off the coast of Indonesia. Each year, adult red crabs, which can also look orange or rarely purple in color, migrate from the island's lush forests to the Indian Ocean for breeding. Christmas Island National Park Chief Ranger Rob Muller snapped these photos early Thursday morning. The annual migration, which is the big tourist attraction for the island, will only occur if conditions are right during the region's wet season. If the rains stop or weaken, the crabs will delay their migration. The National Parks Department said the crab's breeding timetable is fixed around the phases of the moon. Spawning typically occurs in November and December, but has been known to happen during the last lunar quarter in October. Number 2. Fashion elephants. In their native habitat, elephants don't usually need to find ways to stay warm. But northern India has been having a bitterly cold winter, too cold for the elephants even with their thick hides. The elephants at Wildlife SOS are blind, disabled, or on demand after suffering excessive abuse during their life. In addition, arthritis is a common problem for the rescued elephants and is aggravated by the temperatures in northern India that have been dipping lower and lower. Compassionate women in a nearby local village came to the rescue. They have been knitting some colorful jumper jumpers for the elephants. At one point, an elephant equivalent of a footy pajamas was tried, but it seems that the elephants didn't like having their feet covered, so the idea was given up. Number 3. Multicolored bees. If you don't look for bees, you probably don't see them. At least not many of them. Sure, you might notice a honeybee or a bumblebee, the generic names we use for the most well-known species. But there are more than 4,000 bee species in Northern America alone. Some are as large as bumblebees and others smaller than a grain of rice. Most live solitary rather than hive lives. Many are blue or green, not striped black and yellow. The incredible diversity goes largely unrecognized, but not to Sam Droge. As head of the United States Geological Survey's bee inventory and monitoring program, Droge spends his days capturing bees, taking their pictures, and learning all he can about creatures responsible for pollinating much of the vegetal world. We don't know much about these other species, even though they are lovely in their many forms and very diverse. Just the sizes and shapes and colors are awe-inspiring, said Droge. Contrary to popular belief, most bees don't sting people, and that makes it look easy, said Droge. Part of the reason we know so little about our native bees is because they don't sting us, he said. If they were stinging all the time, we would know a lot about them. Male bees like the male Agapostemon angelicus don't even have stingers. Number 4. Fireworks Fiasco. Every 4th of July, 500,000 people trek out to San Diego's parks and beaches to watch the Big Bay boom. But in 2012, the show became an international punchline when a glitch caused 18 minutes of prior to go off in a blinding, deafening 30 seconds. It would become one of the loudest and most epic fails in internet history. Understandably, August Santor Jr., whose 125-year-old state fireworks company took the blame for the fiasco, was not thrilled to get our call, but he indulged us anyway. Sandy Perdon, sponsor and producer of San Diego's Big Bay Boom, said, "I founded this event in 2001. I started off with 2 barges and went to 3 and now we're at 4. About 500,000 people attend. You've probably raised $700,000. His great-grandfather started the company in 1890 in Italy. He started apprenticing for the fireworks company at 10 years old. Number 5. Dolphin Marathon. A port of hundreds of dolphins was caught on camera stampeding across the ocean off Dana Point on Sunday, August 9th, wowing spectators out at sea. The video was taken during a whale-watching charter operated by Captain Dave's Dolphin and whale-watching safari. It was described as a remarkable encounter with common dolphins. Dolphin stampede behavior can be described as poising out of the water at a high rate of speed. Porpoising is the fastest mode of travel for dolphins because there is less resistance in the air than in water. It is not known exactly what causes common dolphins to stampede. It's thought that the dolphins could be evading a predator such as orcas racing to catch food source or meeting up with another pod of dolphins. The charter operation said in an announcement of the encounter, noting the stampedes began without warning and provocation. They're not scared of the boat. It's not the first time stampeding behavior has been caught on camera off the Orange County coastline. A video was taken off Laguna Beach last year, made news worldwide. Large megapods that number in herds of up to 10,000 have been spotted off the coast. Number 6. Two-headed kitten. Biscuits and Gravy, the two-faced kitten born in Oregon, died on Saturday night after a week of living. The cat's owner, Kylie King, told CBS affiliate Coin TV. King woke up last Wednesday to find her pregnant cat had given birth, and one of the new kittens had 2 mouths, 2 sets of eyes, and 2 noses. The phenomenon is not unheard of. It is a rare Janus cat, named after the Roman god Janus, who is depicted with 2 faces. Most Janus cats don't live longer than a day. The King's two-faced kittens, which they named Biscuits and Gravy, lived about 4 days. When word about Biscuits and Gravy got out last week, the feline made national headlines, saying they didn't know how much time they'd have with the two-faced cat, but they were doing everything they could to keep it alive. Number 7. Cow giant. Hearing on the news that there's a giant cow named Knickers in Western Australia and people have gone crazy. Technically, he's not a cow but a steer. He is a giant standing at 1.94 meters. But he is a giant standing at 1.4 meters to his shoulders. This is just shy of the world record holding steer, Bellino, who lives in Italy and stands at 2.02 meters. Knickers, a Holstein Friesian, weighs at 1,400 kilograms and is believed to be the biggest steer in Australia. In addition, for some reason, Knickers and his sizable existence are the talk of the internet, making news all over the world. It's out of control, says Geoff Pearson, Knickers' owner, over the phone from his property in Marlup, south of Perth. I didn't expect it to go as far as it has. I have been called every 10 minutes since 4 o'clock this morning. It is perhaps no surprise that the country is obsessed with building giant things. But why exactly are we fascinated by a large steer? Pearson believes it's just a matter of novelty. I suppose it's just a different topic, he says. It doesn't happen every day. You don't get a steer of that size in normal production systems, and people like animal stories. This, the baffling reality of Knickers' unreal size, is certainly part of it. Number 8. Monk vs. Gravity. Gravity-defying monk walks up a steep slope without ropes as stunned tourist watches. The monk hiked up a steep slope with no shoes and no equipment while carrying 2 bags with him, while the tourist was filming was struggling to pull himself up using a rope. A rock-climbing tourist was left stunned when a monk walked past him on a steep slope with no shoes and equipment. Vangdram Lailai was visiting the Bankoin temple in the capital of Vientiane in Laos, where he had to climb up through a rope. Mobile phone footage uploaded on TikTok shows Vang making his way up the top of the mountain. As he stops midway for a short break, a young monk is seen casually walking up to the slope while carrying 2 bags. Vang pounds the camera to himself and shows the long rope that he is clinging onto while the gravity-defying monk reaches the top. Number 9. Skydiver drops into a car. We love when dangerous activities become twice as dangerous. Like in the video where 28-year-old Katie Hansen skydives into a moving convertible. Skydiving by itself is already a pretty risky thing to do, even though your instructor will convince you otherwise with statistics. But toss in a moving target and things get interesting. It was Hansen's first attempt at a stunt and she made it look so easy. In an interview with Good Morning America, Hansen said that she was nervous but tried to stay focused. Number 10. Raising rubber ducklings. This is a very cute fundraising idea that is great at engaging kids and as well as adults. A rubber duck race is just that, a race between large amount of rubber ducks. The raffle involves participants buying numbered rubber duck to represent them in the race. The rubber ducks are then let out of the top of a river, and the first to reach the finish line is the winner. It is an easy raffle to sell the tickets for because it is noble and fun, while still drawing on the fundamentals of why raffles are so successful. Unless you are close to a river, it may need to be held as a standalone event or after or before a club event. It is a unique event and it is promoted well. You may find the local media will pick up the story. And that is all we have for you in this video. Until next time, talkers.